Hello, children of grade 7. Today, in our science, we are going to read about chapter 17, that is water. Alright, so we know that water is a very important source for our livelihood. We cannot survive without water. All our cooking, cleaning, washing, irrigating the field, electricity, everything depends upon water. Even our body also consists water inside it. We have learned this in our lower classes. So water is basically very important for our survival. It is very precious for all the plants as well as animals. But nowadays the water is being very scarce. Why do many parts of our country do not have water? We are going to study about this topic in our lesson. Also, we will learn about also, in this lesson, we will learn about the sources of water and how are the sources of water depleting. Also, we will learn that how we can conserve water in our day-to-day life. So, let us go to our first activity in this that we can see that how much water in a day we use at our home. We can use it by measuring our water by buckets or by mugs. So, how much water you take to brush your teeth, for bathing, for flushing your toilets, for mopping, preparing food, drinking, watering plants. So, if you observe, on an average, for brushing your teeth, you require 2 mugs of water. For bathing, 1 to 2 buckets of water. This is per head, means per one person in the family. Flushing your toilet, 1 bucket to 1.5 bucket. Washing hands and face, 3 to 4 mugs in a day. Washing clothes, 3 to 4 buckets of water in a day. Cleaning utensils, 1 bucket of water. Mopping, 1.5 bucket of water. Drinking, minimum 3 to 3.5 liters of water in a day per an individual. So if you consider a family of 4 on an average, you can see that how much water we are using it. Okay, and we can also find the ways which we can conserve the water as well. So we will now see what will happen if there is no water at all. The crop production will be affected. So we will have insufficient supply of food. People will have to go miles, walk miles to fetch water. People have to stand in long queues to get their daily water. People have to buy water at high prices. People may drink dirty or contaminated water, which can cause waterborne diseases like typhoid, dysentery, and cholera, etc. So, what will happen if there is no water? Then we cannot get sufficient water to irrigate our fields, and our crops will die and fields will wear off. Then the food supply which we get will be reduced. So, there would be hunger among the people. Already we can see that in deserted areas where water is not available, like in Rajasthan or in any water stressed area, suppose in Andhra Pradesh, if we take Anantapur, Rayalaseema district, the water, these are very water stressed zones. People have to go for miles, they have to walk miles to fetch the water, means to get the water. And also we know that near the municipal taps, we can see people standing in a long queue. All right, means they can provide only one tap and that too for a limited time, so that water cannot be wasted. So already these two things are being done here. And many people every year, so many children die because of drinking dirty contaminated water, and they don't even know that they will get the disease. All right, if you see the knowledge desk, you can see that lack of clean water kills lots of children every day. So now we can have water for now. Suppose in the area where you are living you can find surplus water, but in future, maybe after 10 years or 5 years, you will definitely find the scarcity of water if you are using it in a same rate as you are using it today. So basically we will start our chapter here, concept here with states of water. We all know that in our childhood we have studied that there are three states of water: liquid, solid and gas. In liquid form we can find water in oceans, rivers, seas, lakes, etc. Solid forms, it's definitely ice and snow on high mountains, glaciers, and in gaseous form it is only in the form of water vapor in the air. So if we can perform this activity and we can find it at our home. We can use tap water, we can put it in the fridge, in the freezer, and we can see that the liquid form of water changed into the solid form, that is ice. Again we can put it on the stove and we can see that the ice has melted and formed into liquid state, and if we further boil it we can see that the vapors are coming out of from the water, that is our water vapor state. Now these three states are available on our earth through a water cycle. Means there is a constant circulation of water around the earth. We will see what is it called. It is called water cycle. Circulation between atmosphere, land and oceans on the earth is in a constant cycle is called water cycle. We have studied in our grade 6th that what is a water cycle. Whenever there is a sun, whenever there is heat, the sun will evaporate, the heat will evaporate the water bodies, and the evaporated water will turn into a gaseous state and it will rise up. It will again form clouds, and because of the cooler temperature on the on as we go higher, the temperature is cooler, we will find that the water will condense into liquid and it will form clouds. Then it will form a bigger cloud, and then on further cooling they will precipitate, that is it will rain. Means again in the liquid form the water will fall on the ground, the evaporated water. So if they will fall in the rivers, it will form it will form into a liquid state only. If it will fall it may fall in a cooler region, then it can form snow or hailstorm. So what happens is that we don't know that some of the water will seep into the ground through infiltration, and that water is called underground water. That water cannot be seen with our naked eye. We have to either drill a hole in the soil to see it inside the ground to observe the groundwater. So you might have seen those people who build big houses or big apartments or any small house also, they keep on drilling the borehole first. So what is that for? That is for checking whether the groundwater facilities is available or not. All right. Now, so underground water is trapped between the layers of rock or clay. All right. So the seeping means flowing through the pores of the soil. Now coming to the sources of water. There are two main sources of water, that is rainwater and surface water. Rainwater is considered to be the purest form, but due to the pollution coming out of the vehicles, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide, the rainwater gets polluted, mixed up with these acids, and it can form acid rain. So now it is not considered as a pure form of water. It is very dangerous, and you will read about acid rain in your higher classes. Now coming to surface water. As we have seen that in solid, liquid, gas state, water is found in three states, right? So we have seen that. So the surface water is seen in three forms. So snow, found in frozen state; river water and lake water, snow melts and changes into water, and it flows like rivers and lakes. Sea water, we know that sea water cannot be used for drinking, it is saline. We discussed this in the class, so I will just again repeat it. The sea water is the flush of the rivers which flow from the mountains through the plains and they go into the ocean. So what happens is that there are different kinds of rocks through which the river water flows, and all the rocks are generally salts. So what happened, they have minerals and salts and they mix into the water, because we know that water is a universal solvent. They mix into the water and they flow into the ocean. So if you put so much of mixed salts into the ocean, automatically the sea water is saline. We cannot use it for irrigation purposes and drinking purposes. Next comes the groundwater. See, here it is written the unseen water hidden under the ground. So it is present beneath the surface of the earth. We don't know how much deep it goes, but we can find it. If you see that the water is present in vegetables and fruits as well. Tomatoes will have 95% of water, apple has 80%, and cucumber has 90% of water. Our body, the animal body, like human body, is also having 70% of water. Elephants have 18% of water. So maintaining the water balance in our body is also important. That is why our parents and all suggest us to drink healthy water. All right. Now our main topic is about groundwater. Why groundwater is very important and what is its importance? We get water from river as well. What is the importance of groundwater? We will see. As we discussed that groundwater occurs only below the ground. So what is the use? How can we draw the water when it is underground? We can draw the water through tube wells and hand pumps. Many villages also dig up wells in their house backyards so that they can access the groundwater. So, what is the use of groundwater? So, almost all the rural population, they use the groundwater for their daily needs, and all the industries and agricultural activities, they also use the groundwater for their daily activities. Now, so who will fill the groundwater? How does the groundwater get filled? The groundwater get filled mainly by the rainwater. So our refill for the groundwater is rainwater. If it doesn't rain, then we can say that the groundwater is depleting. Depleting means it is getting reduced. So groundwater basically comes by the seeping of the rainwater into the ground. We call it as infiltration. All right. And after the groundwater is seeping into the ground, it forms a tank, a big tank, a huge tank of water. A big means it's like a big underground lake. That is called aquifer. Collection of seeped water between the layers of hard rocks. And it is an aquifer. It's a huge underground lake filled with different kinds of rocks and gravels, mud, everything, but it is a big tank. Now, here comes water table. How do you know how much water is there? Is it higher or lower? Higher or lower means at what level the water is available. Do we have to dig too deep, or we can find it at a very low level, at a very higher level? So generally we don't measure it by any number. We measure it by higher, the water table is higher, or the water table is lower. So it is defined as the level below the ground that is completely saturated with water. So water table may increase or decrease with time. That is very important to understand. So when we are getting groundwater in a very easily, it is very easily available. What is the need to worry about that? We will be having a water stressed area. So let us see this one by one. So we have to worry more about groundwater is because that almost all the cities are using groundwater, and cities means there would be a huge population as compared to rural areas. The rainwater will seep very less, so because of the drainage available, so all the water mostly will go into the drains. So there would be almost everywhere you can find cement or tar roads. So there will be very less soil available to make it seep into the ground. Understood? So as compared to villages, the cities are likely to have more stress of groundwater. And we all use the groundwater only for our household needs. So then what is the reason that our groundwater is depleting? The main reason is the human activities. Always, because for the water the reason is only human activities. We are the one only polluting the rivers. We are the one only polluting the oceans. All right. Here they have discussed the four main reasons that that are causing the groundwater depletion. First one is rapidly rising population and changing lifestyles. What is happening is that in olden days, 20 to 30 years back, there used to be a very big family, and they all used to have one or two bathrooms, and they used to share them. But nowadays we have nuclear families, means you know what, you can understand what is a nuclear family. Everyone wants their separate bathroom, everyone wants their separate room, everyone wants to have a shower in their bathroom. So what is happening, they are using more water supply as compared to olden days. In olden days we used to have a big tank outside our house. We have to carry the water into the bathroom and we can use that means we are limiting the water use. But after we have the overhead tanks and 24 hours water supply, so we are wasting the water. So our changing lifestyle has caused the depletion is water groundwater. Also, because the population is increasing and the nuclear family concept is increasing, so what is happening? More houses are being built up. More crop production is required. So what is that they are doing? They are using the crop land for 2-3 yields. So automatically the consumption for agricultural use is increasing. Also the house constructions, the factories construction, the development has also made the use of groundwater more. The second thing is agricultural activities. As we discussed that agricultural activities, why are they increasing? They are increasing because of the demand of food and rise in population. So as more population is increasing, automatically the food requirement will increase. So more food requirement is there, more agricultural activity, and in turn more ground